All right, this is video number 2, everyone, on Learning Target 10A. We're going to continue with the finding measures of central tendency. This is our first example. Please note that this example we're going to be using for the rest of the other problems that we're going to do in terms of the other measures of dispersion and whatnot. So please make a note of that. All right, so here's the question. It says the data sets below give the waiting times in minutes of several people at 2 veterinary offices. Find the mean, median, mode of each data set. So again, we're at 2 vet offices, Office A and Office B. They give us a data set. Those numbers in green represent our waiting time for each of the offices. And our job is to find the measures of central tendency, which are the mean, median, and mode. Okay, so again, this is another real world scenario where we're asked to use the measures of central tendency to figure out how this impacts our daily life. Okay, so Office A, notice they have 14 and all the numbers are in order, in ascending order, which means that we don't need to go ahead and organize it anyway when we find the median. Office B is also, notice it goes from the smallest all the way to the biggest in 2 rows. So from 8 all the way to positive 23. So we don't need to rearrange this. For the median, again, if we are asked to find the median, we need to make sure that they're written from least to greatest, or also known as ascending order. Okay, so for Office A, we're going to find the median first. So again, we're going to go ahead and put mean here. And then the symbol for mean is X bar on the top. So we're going to say X bar is equal to. And then how do we find the mean again? Well, we find the mean by adding all the data values and then dividing them by the total number of values in the set. So in this case, we have 14, then we have 17, 18, 19, 20, 24, 24 again, then we have 30, and finally we have 32. And we're going to divide it all by the total number of numbers in the set, or data in the set. So in this case, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So my end value is 9. Okay, so once you go ahead and add all these data values, simplifying this. So we're going to go ahead and add all the data set values, or the data values in the set. We're going to find our numerator and simplify that. So to do that, again, you could just do it with your calculator, scientific calculator, or you can just do it by hand. I'm just going to save some time here. So we're going to say X bar here is equal to, once we add the numerator up, all of these, we're going to end up with 198. And we're going to divide this by 9. Okay. 198 divided by 9 gives us exactly 22. Now, what does this 22 represent? So remember, this is the mean, and all of these data values represent the waiting times for each of the offices. So this means that for Office A, the average waiting time, which is the mean, was 22 minutes. Okay, so make sure you label it with the units. Okay. All right, we're going to do the same thing with Office B, but we're going to wait for that in a second. We're going to continue finding the other measures of central tendency, which are the median and the mode. Okay, so once we do that for Office A, we're going to do the same thing for Office B. Okay, so step 2, find the median. To find the median, again, we have to make sure that the data values in the set are written from least to greatest. So in this case, they are, as we noted in the beginning. So I'm just going to copy them down here. And then we have to find the center of those data set values. Okay. One strategy that I like to use is basically counting one from each side and just taking them off until you get to the center. And once you get to the center, you should be able to see the median If there's an odd number of of data values, which is 9, right? 9 is odd. We should just end up with 1, which is right here, 20. So this is your median. If we end up with 2 numbers in the middle, then we just simplify that by taking the mean, and you would add them and divide it by 2 to get you the median. So in this case, again, that you would do that for when it's even number of data values in the set. Okay, so again, the median here is 20. So again, what does that mean? That means that the median was 20 minutes long for office A. Okay, and then the last thing is the mode. So remember what the mode means? The mode is basically which one occurred the most or was the most frequently. So again, in the set, just copy down the set again so we can analyze it together. Which of these data values repeated the most? So in other words, in this case, which one was the most that repeated in terms of the same wait time? So notice here, 14, 17, 18, 19, 20 don't repeat. 24 repeats twice, and 30 and 32 do not repeat. So basically here, my mode here is 24. Okay, so again, if the mode is 2 for 24 and there was another, let's say another 32 here, then you will have 2 modes, which will be 24 and 32. If there was only 124 here, and then all of them don't have anything more than 1, then you basically, again, if this was taken out the 24, you will have no mode since nothing repeats. They're all the same. Okay, so that's just a little review of the definitions of the measures of central tendency. So we found the mean, the median, and the mode for office A. Okay, so now what we're going to do now is I'm going to squeeze in on this side of our paper here how to find the exact same thing, the measures of central tendency, but with the new data set values here in my table. Okay, so for the mean right here for office B, we are going to go ahead and find the mean. So again, X bar equals, and we're going to use this data set. So we're going to be adding all the data, 8, 11, 12, 16, 18, 18 again. And since I ran out of room, I'm just going to continue with 18 there. So all of this is in the numerator. And so the 3 18s there we have here, plus 20. And finally, plus 23. All over what? The number of values in the set, data values in the set. So in this case, there was 9 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So my end value is 9. So right here, just put end value is 9. Okay. Okay, so now when we simplify the numerator here, you can use our calculator for that, or you can just do it by hand. I'm going to save some time here again. So we're going to go ahead and just add them up using the calculator. So you're going to get, for office B, you're going to get 144 in the numerator. And then you divide it by 9, and it goes evenly. 9 goes into 144 16 times. So basically, this 16 means that your average waiting time for office B was 16 minutes. Okay, so if you compare it to office A, which was 22 minutes. So think about that in terms of our data. Okay, now we're also going to find our median. So again, this data right here was written from least to greatest already, or ascending order. So we could just write it down and then figure out where the center or the middle is. And since n is 9, we're definitely going to have to just pinpoint one number in the middle. If it was an even number, then you go ahead and just add those 2 in the middle and then divide it by 2, which means you find the average of those 2 numbers. Okay, so we're going to write out, we got 8, we got 11, we got 12, 16, 18, 18, 18 again. Then we have 20, 20, and 23. Okay? So if you already know that you have 9, you're reaching the middle. Another strategy is to just divide it by 2. And then figure out where that number, that value is. So like 9 divided by 2 is about 4.5. So you can just cross out the first 4. All right, and 4.5 is the next one, or about 5. So it's pretty much either 18 or in between 18. So if you cross out these 4, you could cross out 4 here. And notice you have 1 left over because it's an odd number of data values. So it's 18. In this case, my median for office B is 18 minutes. So we're waiting for 18 minutes for the median for office B. And last but not least, again, when you compare it to the median for the office A, 20 minutes there and 18 minutes here for office B. Okay, the last but not least is the mode. So remember that the mode is the one that occurs the most frequent. Again, you could rewrite the numbers on the set here. It's learning from least to greatest. You don't have to write it from least to greatest for the mode, but since it's already there, I'm just going to copy it down. 18 and 20 and 23. Okay, so from right here, notice that the 8 does not repeat. 11, 12, 16 doesn't repeat. 18 repeats how many times? Well, here's 1, 2, 3 times. 20 doesn't repeat and 23 doesn't repeat. So in this case, the mode is the one that occurs the most frequent or appears the most frequently. In this case, it's 3 times. 18 appears 3 times. So that means that 3 people out of the 9 were waiting for 18 minutes. While the other ones were waited 8, 11, 12, 16, 20, and 23 minutes. Okay. So we compare that to the mode over here. In this case, for 9 people that were there was 2 people that waited for about 24 minutes long to see the vet. All right. So again, this is an example of how to find the measures of central tendency. Please make sure that you go on to video 3 after this one, which is talking about the measures of dispersion. And we're going to go ahead and talk about that in our next video. Okay, talk to you guys soon.